an eternity ago on a Sunday night, but it was never about Sunday night. Unseasonably warm in Dallas. Blue sky, few clouds. February, but it doesn't feel like it. Feels like a gift after the recent ice. The kind of morning where you leave the door propped open and let the air in. It's gonna be a big day. The biggest day, actually, if you're in the business of cold beer and television sets. Championship Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. After tonight, there's no more football until September. 7 months of nothing. Sure, there's the draft and some exhibition games, but those don't draw eyes. Nobody can fill a Sunday the way the NFL does, and everybody in the bar business knows it. Marco knows it too. He showed up at noon, early for a dishwasher, but Super Bowl Sunday isn't a regular Sunday. Double prep, endless plates. The noise from the dining room sounds like a stadium even before kickoff, and by halftime, the dish pit looks like something you'd need a building permit to fix. Marco's been washing dishes at the end zone for 3 years. The busboys bring back tubs. They say they scrape the plates, but they don't. He sorts through the mess and puts the plates and silverware in the slotted trays and sprays them down and feeds them into the machine. They come out smoking hot, and he burns his hands stacking them. The assistant manager tells him to go faster. There are no breaks. There's no time to take out the trash. He's 19 years old, and he's never once called in sick. He doesn't care who wins. The game matters because it brings the people, and the people bring the money, and the money is the whole point. If the Seahawks win, good. If the Patriots win, good. If the halftime show is in English or Spanish or Mandarin, good. Ray is the owner. He pays Marco time and a half on Super Bowl Sunday. As long as the dining room stays full and the checks stay open and Ray keeps the kitchen running past the fourth quarter, Marco's good. Ray has owned the end zone for 11 years, 32 TVs, a smoker out back, and a lease he'd rather not talk about. He got into the bar business the way most people do. He thought it would be fun. It was, for about 6 months. Then it became a job, then a religion. Show up early, stay late, pray a lot. Ray's been up since 4. Briskets went on at 4:30. Ice delivery at 7. The produce guy shorted him limes again, but that's a Monday problem. Today is not a day for problems. Today is a day for solutions, and the solution is simple. Keep the TVs on, the beer cold, the tabs open. The NFL does the rest. He's expecting 300 covers tonight, maybe more. He's got 2 extra bartenders, a bar back he borrowed from his buddy's place in Deep Ellum, and enough wings to feed a small army. He's run the numbers. If tonight goes the way last year went, he'll clear enough to cover the entire month. The Super Bowl doesn't just end the season, it pays for the hangover. By 4 o'clock, the lot's already filling up. By 5, the noise is right. That good noise. People are spending money and feeling good about it. Ray's behind the bar, and he's moving, and he's got that feeling that the whole machine is working. The kitchen's not backed up, the taps are flowing, nobody's complaining. Then his phone buzzes. It's Hutch. Hutch is Ray's oldest friend. They go back to Plano, to high school, to a time when neither of them had to worry about anything more complicated than Friday night. Hutch is a good man. Loyal. The kind of guy who helps you move and doesn't even ask for pizza. He's also the kind of guy who's been getting his news from places that make him angry. The text says, "You better not show that halftime garbage. I'm serious." Ray doesn't respond. He's got tables to turn.
Welcome to I Believe, where we talk about America. I'm Joel Douglas, and I believe in America. Thanks for joining me.
Act 1, Pregame. Hutch doesn't text again. He just shows up. 5:30, first quarter crowd settling in, noise building toward that pitch where you have to lean in to hear the person next to you. He's wearing his Cowboys jersey. Aikman, now an announcer. Had it since they were kids. He's got that look on his face. Ray's seen it before. He's been in the truck listening to something that got him wound up, and now he needs someone to agree with him. He doesn't sit at his usual spot. Stands at the end of the bar where Ray's pouring and waits. Ray sees him, nods, pours a shiner and slides it down without asking. Hutch doesn't touch it. "You see my text?" "I saw it." And I've got 300 people in here, Hutch. That's what I'm saying. 300 people who don't want to watch 300 people who are buying beer and eating wings and watching the game. That's what they're here for. Hutch leans in, lowers his voice like he's being reasonable, like he's helping. All I'm saying is flip it over to the other show during halftime, the real one. American music, 15 minutes, nobody's gonna complain. Half the bar is gonna complain. No, they won't. They'll thank you. Ray keeps pouring. A 4-top near the window flags him for another pitcher, and he fills it without breaking stride. The kitchen bell rings twice. A busboy passes behind him with a tub and heads toward the back, toward Marco and the machine. Hutch, I love you. You know I love you. But I'm not turning off the Super Bowl halftime show in a sports bar on Super Bowl Sunday. It's the show the NFL is broadcasting. What Apple paid for, 130 million people are going to watch. And those people in my bar are going to watch it here on my TVs with a beer in their hand that I sold them. Hutch picks up the shiner, takes a drink, sets it down a little too hard. You sound like a company man, Ray. I sound like a man who owns a company. You know what they're doing, right? You know what this is? This is them shoving it down our throats. The whole thing, the Spanish, the flags, the... Ray cuts him off. Hutch? What? Who's them? Hutch doesn't answer that. He looks up at the nearest TV, highlights, graphics, the machine that prints money. You know what your problem is? Hutch says. You don't care about anything except the register. Ray almost laughs. Almost, because that's the first honest thing either of them has said. Yeah, Ray says. That's my job. That's the whole job. I care about the register. The NFL cares about the register. Apple cares about the register. Every business in America cares about the register. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work. You taught me that. Don't turn this around on me. I'm not turning anything around. I'm telling you what you already know. The NFL isn't a public service. It's not the government. It's not a church. It's a business. And it made a business decision. The most popular artist on the planet is playing the halftime show, and 130 million people are going to watch it, and my bar is going to be full when they do. You want me to turn that off because you don't like the guy? Because he sings in Spanish? It's not about the language. Then what's it about? Hutch finishes the shiner. He looks at Ray. His eyes turn distant.
Act 2. The Boardroom. We leave the bar for a minute and head to the boardroom. In 1970, an economist named Milton Friedman wrote an essay for the New York Times. Title, 8 words long. The social responsibility of business is to increase its profits. 8 words that became the bedrock of American conservatism for the next half-century. They were framed in offices, quoted in boardrooms, taught in business schools, used to justify every decision a corporation ever made that somebody didn't like. You don't like that we moved the factory overseas? The social responsibility of business is to make money. You don't like that we cut your pension? The social responsibility of business is to make money. You don't like that the CEO makes 400 times what you make? The social responsibility of business is to make money. It's a beautiful argument if you're the one making the money. Brutal if you're not. For 50 years, conservatives loved it. It was the answer to every question the left ever asked about corporate behavior. You want the company to care about the environment, diversity, social justice? That's not what companies are for. That's what government is for. Companies are for making money. The market decides, the customer decides, not the protester. Milton Friedman has been dead since 2006. Let's bring him back for a minute. Put him somewhere he never was. In a conference room with Roger Goodell. It's October. 5 months before the Super Bowl. Long table. Too many chairs. A screen on the wall with the presentation somebody spent 2 weeks building. Marketing people and sponsorship people and content people and executives. Roger's at the head of the table. Milton is in the corner. Nobody invited him. He just showed up. He's not here to help. He's here to observe. He's got a legal pad and he hasn't written anything on it yet. The question on the table is simple. Who plays halftime? Someone pulls up a slide. 3 or 4 names. Analytics, global streaming numbers, social media reach, demographic penetration, sponsor alignment, the usual. One of the names is the most streamed artist on the planet. 5 billion streams in a single year. Sold out stadiums on 4 continents. Won Album of the Year at the Grammys a week before the game. Young, global audience. The Latino market is the fastest growing consumer demographic in America, and Apple just wrote a check for $50 million to put their name on whatever this halftime show becomes. The name is Bad Bunny, the Puerto Rican rapper who's outsold everyone since reggaeton went global. Somebody clears their throat. You can feel it before they say it. The hesitation, the careful language, the words that mean one thing and say another. The group debates. What about the core audience? Milton looks up from his legal pad. Define core audience, he says. Traditional NFL viewership, older, domestic, English speaking. And what percentage of your revenue growth do they represent? Silence. What percentage of your new subscriptions on NFL Plus came from international markets last year? Silence. What was the median age of the audience for your 3 highest-rated broadcasts last season? The marketing people look at each other. Milton puts the legal pad down. He hasn't written a single thing on it. Your core audience, he says, watches the Super Bowl every year regardless of who performs at halftime. They watched when it was the Rolling Stones. They watched when it was Shakira. They watched when it was a marching band. They are not going anywhere. They have nowhere to go. The question's not whether you will lose them. The question's who you aren't reaching yet. He looks at the screen, at the streaming numbers, at the 5 billion. You are not a cultural institution, he says. You are a business. Act like one. In Dallas, in a sports bar called the End Zone, nobody knows any of this. Ray is restocking the cooler. Marco is checking the schedule to see if he's on for Tuesday. Hutch is at home watching something on his phone that's making him angry.
Act 3. Back in the bar. In the kitchen, the machine hisses. Marco feeds another tray in. His hands are red. Ray puts both hands on the bar. He doesn't look at the TV or the dining room. He looks at Hutch. This bar exists to make money. People getting mad because a business made money in a way they don't like is DEI with a country music playlist. Neither of them says anything for a while. Hutch puts the glass down, doesn't slam it, just sets it on the bar with the kind of care you use when you're trying not to break something that's already broken. He gets up, walks out, doesn't say goodbye, doesn't make a scene. Through the door and into the parking lot where it's still warm and the sun is going down and his truck is right where he left it. Ray watches him cross the lot, just for a second. Then a two-top flags him down and he turns back and starts pouring. The lot is full, the tabs are open, the machine keeps running. The second quarter ends and the broadcast cuts to the field, and the lights change, and there he is. White jersey. His last name across the back. Ocasio. The number 64, 300 people watch. Some of them know every word. Many don't know a single one. It doesn't matter. Nobody switches the channel or asks Ray to turn it off. Sugarcane, palm trees, color, a piragua stand. Someone's memory of a place most of the people in this bar have never been. Every word in Spanish. And the bar stays full. Lady Gaga. Ricky Martin. The room gets louder. A wedding on the field, an actual wedding, and a table of women near the pool tables lose their minds. Ray pours. The kitchen fires. Marco runs the machine. Hutch's stool is empty. No one is saving it for him. They move on. There are other seats. The bar is full and Hutch's seat is empty.
Act 4. Friedman's Soliloquy. Milton Friedman walks back into the conference room. It's Tuesday, 2 days after the Super Bowl. Presentation screen still on. Coffee cup on the table. Marketing people gone. Roger's still there. Milton sits down. A single sheet of paper. He puts it on the table. The official Nielsen numbers. 128 million viewers. 4th most watched halftime show in Super Bowl history, behind Kendrick Lamar, Michael Jackson, and Usher. Not a record. Milton pauses. He knows the people who wanted this to fail are going to say it wasn't even the biggest. They're going to call it a disappointment. He turns the paper over. There's more to the story. 4 billion social media views in 24 hours. Already, the NFL's 3 most viewed social posts of all time are from the Bad Bunny halftime show. A single Instagram clip became the most viewed piece of content in NFL social history. Over 55% of all views came from outside the United States. Most watched Super Bowl in Spanish language broadcast history. Telemundo peaked at 4.8 million during halftime alone. The counter-programming halftime show peaked at somewhere between 5 and 6 million viewers on YouTube. Peanuts in comparison. Nielsen didn't measure it. Milton sets the paper down. They're reading the wrong scoreboard. The number the critics are using is the American television number. They're right. On that scoreboard, it wasn't a record. But that's not the game anymore. 4 billion views in a day. 55% international. Apple didn't pay $50 million a year for American living rooms. Apple paid for the planet, and the planet watched. People spent 50 years telling corporations to stay out of politics, out of social causes, out of culture. Now these same critics want the halftime show to play to a room that gets smaller every year. That is not a business strategy. The social responsibility of business is to increase its profits, not to wave a flag, not to take a side, not to make anyone feel represented or unrepresented, to make money. This group demanded that the NFL and Apple sacrifice profit to protect their feelings. 128 million watched the show. 4 billion saw it on their phones the next day. 5 million watched the alternative. The market chose. If they don't like it, they could use government to regulate the NFL. Of course, compelling businesses to represent social values is pure and unadulterated socialism. He leaves the room. Economists never look back.
Back in Dallas, it's almost midnight. The end zone is closing down. The lot is mostly empty now. A few trucks, the cleaning crew's van, the streetlights are doing that orange thing they do. Inside, the chairs are up on the tables. The kitchen is dark. The fryers are cooling and the grill is scraped and the floor is wet where somebody mopped too fast. Marco is finishing. The last tray went through the machine 10 minutes ago. The water is draining. He wipes down the steel around the pit and hangs the sprayer on its hook and peels off the rubber gloves. His hands are raw. They're always raw after a Super Bowl shift. He runs them under cold water and dries them on his jeans. There it is on his forearm. A line of ink, small, black, Spanish. He didn't see the halftime show. He was 7 feet from 32 screens and he didn't see a single second of it. He'll watch it later, on his phone, in his apartment, with the sound up. He'll watch it the way 128 million people already watched it. But right now he's just tired and his hands hurt and his shift is over and he's getting time and a half. He clocks out, walks through the empty bar, past the dark TVs and the stacked chairs and Hutch's empty stool that nobody sat in all night. The door is propped open. The air is still warm.
Ey, tengo problema mental. Ey, cada vez que te veo me llega el deseo y la gana de darte. Yo te lo juro que estoy mal y no es normal que cada vez que te vea me llegue el deseo de esa boquita besarte y de la ropa quitarte. Si tú quieres mojarte y tienes calor, dame una llamadita, bebé, dame un call, que yo puedo hacer que te sientas mejor. Un masajito de aceite y vapor y después de un chin de alcohol. Ey, vamos a hacer el amor hasta que salga el sol. Una movie bañado en sudor. Úsame como tú quieras, tú tienes el control. Súbete encima y no te despegues de mí. Vamos a botar la rutina y no creo por ti. Sube, 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 sube. Tengo problema mental. Cada vez que te veo me llega el deseo y la gana de darte. Yo te lo juro que estoy mal y no es normal que cada vez que te vea me llegue el deseo de esa boquita besarte y de la ropa quitarte. Tengo problema mental. Ey, cada vez que te veo me llega el deseo y la gana de darte. Yo te lo juro que es normal y no es normal que cada vez que te vea me llegue el deseo de esa boquita besarte y de la ropa quitarte. Quiero una nota que no ponga a volar. A mi cuarto oscuro yo te quiero llevar. Trátame serio que yo no quiero jugar. Esa boquita a mí me hace pecar. Cada vez que quiera, quiero devorarte. Beso lento sin tener que avisarte. Súbete, sube, 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 sube.